Welcome back to Let's Play Ni no Kuni. In the last part we met Old Father Oak, and in this part we're gonna go rebuild someone's heart. Which isn't nearly as heartwarming as it sounds.
Yeah, it's nothing like surgery. Should have been a lot more fun. I imagine how dark that would have been, and all happiness was like, alright, Oli boy, cut him open, let him bleed!
Look how corroded it is! You have saved this man! He flatlines.
He's missing his heart, and apparently his kidneys too. Did you go to Chinatown?
You'll notice now that we have the familiars and we've beaten that last boss, now there are 2 enemies every time we run into one.
This means more experience, so it's all good.
Yep. You still kill them instantly.
Because of adorableness right there.
Mm-hmm. By the way, any glimpse that you haven't picked up before it goes to that experience screen, you can't grab, but there will be an ability we can get later which will have the glimpse fly directly to you. We don't get it for a little while, though. We do see... I do think we see the thing that eventually leads to getting it in this video, though. It relates to the side quests.
Yeah, you have to have a certain amount of stamps, I believe, and that whole system.
Mm-hmm.
God, he said it! The most famous line! Yeah, this, early in the game, this little move destroys everything. It uses up a lot of magic, but oh well. It kills everything, so...
Yep.
God, his little suspenders. Like he stole a pair of yours. Remember that victory that happened? Now you do.
Tender beef.
Instead of the rough kind. He just got it from an animal that had nothing to do with a cow.
No, it was one of those little pig things.
I love when you fight... I love the RPG kind of staple that you fight a character. It'd be like you fight like a rat monster and it'd drop a knife. Like, how did it have this? I like this idea that this entire town's blocked off because of one depressed man.
Yeah.
There's something very wrong with their system. So obviously, and this is something that you can see a lot of the little high-budget Japanese RPGs is that they use a lot of motion capture for the characters, so you can tell that's been modeled after a human in this sake, which always looks kind of interesting when you have these anime-esque models over these kind of more pastel-colored backgrounds. Gives kind of an interesting feel to it. Especially for something that's animated. Looks very realistic and fluid. And how inefficient is that spear?
Okay. But where do I find enthusiasm?
Well now, feast your eyes on that other guard, but then...
I remember the first time I really got excited about this game is when I saw the town itself. I thought it was when I first pointed out how unique the designs in this game are. So.
Sure, I'll try my best.
And yes, so the rule with trying to fix people's hearts is that you have to find someone with the part of the heart that's missing from the person you're trying to save. So currently the person that's missing a heart's missing enthusiasm. So clearly this outrageously hyper guy has enthusiasm. So let's steal all of his hearts. Which I never understood why I didn't actually get rid of their enthusiasm, but whatever.
I think as Mr. Drippy points out, either here or eventually, is that we just theoretically scrape a little bit off the top. And later on there will be people who noticeably mellow out a little bit after we've taken the hearts. But for the most part it's just a little bit to help someone who's missing all of it, which isn't quite equivalent, I don't think, but it still works.
Okay, here goes.
And tidy. What a word for something good. Tidy!
There will always be someone in the world somewhere with a piece of heart that's missing from someone else. And usually the person you're looking for will be in the same area as the person missing the piece of heart.
Well, later in the game, it's also sometimes just good to go through the town and collect as many of those heart pieces as you can. Because there's different kind of effects, but you can only hold one at a time.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to go back and find someone's enthusiasm or someone's love and things like that.
That's smart, Oliver.
What does it smell like?
Beautiful! It worked!
Neato.
When did you grab my book?
Tidy! He's back in the land of the living!
What's happening? Where am I?
I find it interesting that they used a lot of these English voice actors for this game. Kind of a mix. Some of them have English accents, some of them
If a
don't.
weight has been lifted from my heart, I feel better.
The general idea is that everyone in this world has an English or British Isles
I'm sorry,
accent.
I wasn't myself. But I'm back now.
Though I've noticed
I'm ready to
Oliver
work harder
almost
than ever.
slips into British sometimes.
Well then.
And there's a number of other characters that
People
just
will come
that
to
just have
visit
pretty
our
much a
great
strict
kingdom.
American accent
I think
because
we'd better let
I
them
don't
in.
know. It just is.
Indeed, we had. This way, everybody.
I wonder how long they were trapped outside because of the smoky guy.
This way, everybody, towards a wall.
This way, everybody, leave.
This way, everybody, flips him off.
I love the name Ding Dong Dorman. I love that character name. I'm the Ding Dong Dorman.
Does Ding Dong Dell refer to nursery rhyme?
I believe so.
Sounds familiar,
It
but I
does.
can't put my finger on it. Ding Dong Dell, cat went over the well.
Maybe. It is a cat castle.
Mm-hmm. It's the cat kingdom. That's why there's fish everywhere.
There's a lot of fish-themed architecture, which is really neat to see. And also one of the most infamous pieces of dialogue in an NPC is in this area, too. You might run into him. I haven't seen the video to be able to tell for sure.
Oliver is not paying attention.
I forgot to put my wallet in my pocket.
I've been forgetting to breathe for the last 5 minutes. So here we are in Ding Dong Dell. This is our first proper village.
Come on, Mon! I put up a visible wall so you can't move.
That's actually an invisible wall to direct us towards a cutscene, not to the castle. Because look.
You know, it's great. You can always go back to those pots and collect those items again and again and again. Look how cool this place looks.
Yep.
It's
And I love this cutscene just for how racist it is.
Stop staring, man. It's rude.
But look at those goofy clothes.
Oliver's like, they all look so weird, and they're all staring at him.
You are the goofy one round these parts.
Why do they look weird anyway?
And they all gather around and start laughing at him.
And
They
pointing.
really look so strange.
Look at the foreigner!
Crikey, we better get you a new outfit.
They're not
before they
pointing at
put
the
you in
fairy.
zoo.
Yeah.
Come on, Ollie boy.
They're used to fairies, they're not used to overalls.
Except for on your familiar, but whatever.
Look at the person from out of town, he's funny! Laugh at his accent!
Make him leave!
Did they not realize how racist that came across?
It's the Japanese, they get away with it. I don't know if you ever talked to that one character. I don't know if you did in this game, but did you ever talk to that little girl near the gate?
I think I do in a later video.
Where she just says, yay, pee time? That's all she says.
What the fuck is this woman?
Creepy owl lady.
I don't know, she's kind of adorable.
I don't see the adorable factor necessarily.
That is a change of roles.
The idea of this woman just like, I have clothes to give you for free is kind of disturbing.
And I'm an owl for some reason.
Yep.
She's actually standing on that chair, she's not sitting on it.
On one leg.
She's about as tall as Drippy.
Funny she actually jumped on the table to get in his face.
What do we say, little man?
I like the idea that someone bought a new outfit but left their old one behind. I only need one.
Now, the idea with the shopkeepers is they all have some bird-related pun about them, and they look like the bird. So, this woman, she looks like an owl. The guy we buy weapons and things from for our familiars is a raven. And the guy we're going to go to relatively quickly, I think he's based on a swallow.
Yeah. And this character is named Hootenanny.
Hootenanny. Well, isn't that just a party?
This is, I think I just call this Pun Town because I always walk by this cat. There's also people that look like cat humans. And I keep on walking by this one little girl and it just keeps on going, I think I might purchase some fish. I'm like, ah! I want to go back and just shoot her with a spell. Fireball, fireball!
The cat people are called Grimalkins, which is not a pun for some reason. Or maybe it is, and I just don't know.
I'm sure if we looked it up, we'll just be like, oh, son of a bitch.
But yeah, Ni no Kuni, I mentioned in the first video, I don't think Travis has seen it yet, because I haven't put it up yet. I called this game the PS3's Puns and Alliterations Adventure. That's not a joke. The puns throughout this game will leave you aching in pain and make you want to hang yourself.
And they do it with no shame.
No. They do it with no, like, filter, either. They throw them in any fucking chance they get.
I love NPCs. Here's the Swallow, I believe.
The Taskmaster.
Now, Taskmaster is one of those situations where you end up getting these kind of side missions, usually to find items or defeat a monster or something like that. Usually provide you with gear or money or experience, but it also gives you stamps on a stamp card, which the more you accumulate, the more of these little special abilities you can unlock. Some of which can lead to things like your character move faster on the screen, or you're able to collect more orbs at once. More orbs are released, and the more of these side missions you have, the more rewards you end up getting. Some of the later ones require even more stamps than the other ones, so they definitely encourage you to do the side missions if you can. It's also a good way that if you want to be able to get some equipment you can't get otherwise, it's really the only way to get it.
We only directly talk to the Taskmaster to turn in either the stamp cards or to gather hunting missions to find specific monsters, and as well as to turn those in. Usually when we just go to a side quest, we help the person and then we get the stamps from them.
Some of them are just outrageously easy. Like, I've done ones where it's so simple, but they'll give you like 5 stamps.
Yeah.
Which is a lot, by the way.
Yeah, each stamp card is 10 stamps.
The only thing I generally kind of wished from this game is that when you go to some of the other towns, their Swallow, Raven, and Owl character look pretty much identical. I wish maybe they made like sisters and brothers that had like different color hair or things like that.
Yeah, they say the same things too.
Yeah, that's just a little nitpick. On the select screen, you saw something that was kind of question marked. We don't get the ability to use that until later in the game. I didn't really use it that much, to be honest.
I only used it when I looked up what the things I could do with it were on GameFAQs.
Yeah, you kind of have to cheat. But either way, something is to see probably like midway through the game, nearly. Well, maybe even a little earlier than that.
That woman had a blue talk box above her. That means she needed our help. We can also see on the mini-map, and as well as the regular map, people that need help, they'll have those, they'll be pointed out by dots. Also, later on when we start collecting pieces of heart to give to people, they will show up on the map as green, and the people that need the heart will show up just as side missions in the blue dots.
So, as I mentioned, if you ever find someone and they have a heart and you can collect it, just feel free to do it.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Because you never know down the line when you run into someone who needs it, then it's just a really quick and easy experience gain.
Here's one thing. The Cat's Cradle, that's another annoying pun thing. The Cat's Cradle is an inn, and every time we go to a new inn in each town, the Wizard Companion will open up with a new region of the world. And I still haven't decided if I'm going to actually post any of these in the thread. If you guys want to see them, I will.
It's very extensive. Like, they put a lot of work into having these little stories in there and locales and things. And
Oliver?
if you sit down and take time to read it, it's
Oliver?
quite lengthy.
Mom? Mom! You've done so well to make it this far, Oliver. Mom? Is this...
Sometimes I wish I had a hairstyle like that.
You must listen to me now,
Which one?
Oliver.
The mom?
You
The mom.
have to go to him.
Just get your long hair and just curl it up.
And when you do... you'll
And a green
learn the
dress.
truth.
And a green dress.
Imagine if you had to cosplay as that character for the next Anime Boston.
Him?
Anything that covers the back.
and get Yoshi
Mom,
dressed
what
like
do you
Oliver.
mean? He's someone very
This is my son.
important to both of
About
us.
6 inches taller than
Who
me,
is
but
he?
so.
And where do
I'm
I
taller
have to
than him.
go?
Are you? I
It's
thought he was
all right,
taller.
sweetie.
Hmm.
You're
No, he's
already on your
relatively
way.
short.
Don't give up, Oliver. No matter how hard
And
it
dark-skinned. And Hispanic.
Which would make it all the funnier if he's just like Oliver.
gets. Mom!
Of course, Oliver does have some pretty cool, like, purple Converse.
which we lose relatively shortly. He does not keep him with the new outfit.
And the new outfit is fierce.
That's the most polite Drippy has ever been.
This is the most polite he'll ever be.
Yeah.
The only thing about the PS3 sometimes is I wish they did do the saving mechanic a little bit more seamlessly, but that's just a nitpick of the system.
Saving is always really quick for me, though.
It's quick, but I just wish it didn't have to pull you into the same PS3 skin for all of them. There's the AP time girl. Let's just get away from her.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I mentioned earlier on it railroaded you into that racist cutscene. If we went down that path, we would still get to the same place.
It's interesting just to explore town because there's a lot of multi-layers that it can be easily be ignored, but it's you know, paying attention to the map in these areas is always really nice because you'll find these little hidden alcoves you weren't aware of before.
And there are a lot of places where we can't reach, but you'll see NPCs walking around, and you're like, am I supposed to be able to talk to you?
Do I need a spell to get up here?
Is that a place I could get to at all?
Can I use broom here? No.
What do you think?
Huh? Oh,
There you go.
Trendy. You look proper sharp, Ollie boy.
It's funny, people were staring at you when you were dressed normally, and then when you were wearing a dorky little cape, they're just like, ah, it's fine.
Clearly he's a traveler. Which is different from foreigner.
I said he had just turned the camera on like, ooh, fascinating, huh?
So at this point I realized, oh yeah, you can do that.
I didn't know you could. I never did that.
I use it sometimes just to get a better focus on a certain character. Or just to dick around when I'm bored.
You'd never guess by looking at Oliver, but he becomes like the strongest character in the game by far.
Mm.
And you can never guess by that outfit.
No. We don't get new clothes after this.
So get used to it.
Mm. Nobody gets new clothes after this.
Get out of my way. Stupid Drippy.
It's a blue chest. We need a spell to open that. And I want to quickly just show off the things the woman usually sells. This is just our general provision shop. We can buy something to heal just curses, poisons, what have you, food, drinks. We can also get food for our familiars. Grab just a couple. We can also get ingredients, which we won't be able to use for a while. They're the general items that I've been picking up outside. And you can only get certain kinds of items either from enemy drops or from Hootenanny. And I can't believe I just said that.
You did. No shame there.
It's gonna get worse later in this video. I think almost immediately, even.
The sad thing is the most useful thing in this game is things like coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Because they restore your SP. Because HP is something that you could usually sustain pretty well if you have enough SP. But SP drains ridiculously fast in some of the battles.
You mean MP?
Right. It's usually called.
What would SP be?
SP is what they use all the time for those for every other JRPG. Just got used to it. Oh, good. We ran into a... What are those called? Grimalkins?
Grimalkin.
Yeah.
This is the one that always says, I need to purchase something.
Get away from her now.
And she's always really quiet for me, so I can never actually hear her finish the sentence.
I just ignore her about halfway through, so I just run away. Look at this cool square with a beautiful purple fish. Again, I really like the look of the kind of mosaic, kind of oil paint look to everything around you. It's very seamless because you'll sometimes see these games where the graphics, like normal graphics with this anime look, don't really blend that well together, and the characters within it look so separate from the background. This one, they did a really good job of blending it together.
And her earring is right there.
Well, that was easy. Anyway.
That's the reason I did it, because it's so quick. I'm going to do a couple side quests in this video, just because they're easy to do.
I like the idea of someone just throwing a loaf of white bread in the chest near the town.
There's a lot of white bread around. Because it's the only real healing item you can get early on. So they just stuff it everywhere. You'll notice that all of the healing items and magic regenerative items are in the same type. Later we'll get things like sandwiches, burgers for healing, and for magic it's always some type of coffee. but like extra strong.
See, she actually, with that mission, she gave you some equipment, but actually it's equipment that only generally familiars can equip. That's going to be something you have to get used to, because and actually the funny thing is, some equipment can only go onto certain familiars. You can get something and just like, he just got some kind of cloak. You can't put that on, any other character except for maybe a agility type. But for something like the little suspenders wearing swordsman, not so much.
Yeah, Little Double can only carry a sword and a shield, and a badge. Oliver can also wear badges. They're basically just they're what they sound like, and the items we can get can have some certain elemental advantage to them. We don't see those for a little while, which is sad because you could really use them early on.
And that's right. Everyone calls the king of this place Meowjesty.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Did I mention the puns?
Ugh. You can hear me do that a lot, actually.
You think that's bad? You know he's missing? A red herring.
Ugh.
Catman. Okay, let's go.
If you want to see what he looks like, he's on the fountain. He's a fat fucker that we need to save.
We've already seen his soulmate, actually. Purchase.
What's soulmate? What do you mean by that? That's silly.
Drippy's gone into it.
Has he?
Yeah. It's in the first video that we didn't commentate.
That's how I don't know.
Anyway, I know right where the red herring is. He's right over here. And we actually need to jump and balance on these little tubes.
Which is super easy for Oliver because he's a kid.
Mm-hmm. He has no worries about balance.
He's just like, alright, I'm just gonna jump on these poles. I don't care if they hold. He just doesn't know nonchalantly.
No risk of falling. There's nowhere to go either.
Yep, I didn't think this one through.
And you can turn around on a dime on those.
It is more the Oliver than meets the eye. See, well, whatever. And what's Drippy doing?
That looked like fun, man.
I want to do it too. So you can even see the architecture of the buildings. Not only the characters inside theme like it, but the owl lady's house looks like an owl. Go away, cat lady. Now
the red herring went off in this direction. And the only reason I didn't go up here earlier is because of that. But I can get something else interesting up here after I've gotten the fish.
This is it's definitely worthwhile, this little chest, because this, you kind of imagine it's more like a find the item mission, but they actually do reward you pretty well for this. Slice of pie, another little food item for your familiars. How'd he get up here?
I don't know.
Let's have a really long conversation, even though we're holding a fish that can't breathe right now. That's really thinking ahead.
Just you wait. Look at this.
Alright, let's see what's going on over here.
Hey, look, a ghost kid.
There's nothing really depressing about a dead kid.
He's trying to talk to us, but we can't hear him. Random page.
Just fell out of the sky. Not even him, it's just like, oh, they just fell out of the sky, whatever.
Now, this dude gave us spirit medium. This allows us to talk to ghosts, who otherwise we can't communicate with.
And Drippy has a way of being very obvious with what spell you need to play, because later you get a lot of them, but he's just like, would you like to talk to a spirit? Wink!
Perhaps one slightly middling in stature. Jeepers creepers.
Oh god, that is one of the most annoying things of Oliver, is the way he says jeepers.
The way he says everything.
Yeah.
Let's not narrow it down too much.
And then he doesn't really have any personality either. He's just constantly, everyone's trying to start like a interesting enough conversation. He's just like, well, yeah, let's keep going. And they're just like, come on. Just let something happen that isn't quest related.
That fish has some spirit, let me tell you. Pardon the pun. God, now the game's making me do it. I've been a punster for a while anyway, but
yeah.
God, this game just makes me want to puke.
Hey, this ghost seems fishy. It just gives a big open mouth smile to the camera.
Hey, my fish is dead.
Open mouth smile. Huh?
Some pretty clouds. Yep, so Horace will show up in other towns as we go through them. And we'll be able to do something with him every time we talk to him. And he'll give us stuff. Specifically pages to the Wizard's Companion.
Also, if you read the little stone in the front, it does tell about the fact that it was some big wizard that came before him, and it hints in that fact that that little kid was this really magnificent wizard. So... This one that's dying? Why are you tossing him? Stop it.
I'm tenderizing him, Ollie boy.
I think this is how you make a pizza. Come on, Mon. I'm not treating him properly. Big smile to the camera.
What?
Crappie's a kind of fish.
Oh. Wow.
Oh.
I don't know how to follow that.
This is a really long conversation, not waiting to put this fish in the water. Oh, yeah, you see? And, okay. That's the worst card ever. I do like how they go to animated cutscenes to introduce the kings. Or queens.
Majesty. Treasure back to one.
I want you to die.
Yes, Your Majesty.
And you wish.
Reminds me of the cat from American Tail.
Why do they start so many words with P's?
Come
Must
now,
they?
Don't be shy.
Oh.
Well,
I like King Tom though. Don't be shy.
Out with it now.
we need your wand.
Didn't hear you. Don't care. Say it again. Boing.
Huh? What did you say?
See, I would run at this point.
Drakey. You don't smell like magic.
That smell.
You smell like my red herring. Did you actually put it back in the water?
That's right, Your Majesty. He's not from our
Shut up,
world.
stop calling him
He's
Majesty.
the one whose power freed me from my prison.
What? You mean he broke his spell? This little boy.
See, it does suffer a bit from not matching lip flaps, but at this point, really, who cares? I mean, Studio Ghibli always had a way of matching lip flaps pretty terribly, but that's because they put a lot of emphasis on trying to make it look accurate.
Well, you know, he might be able to.
And, worrying on the acting, which is frankly the important part.
Acting's not too great in this game.
It's not one's
not the best.
You may not.
Cat doesn't sound too bad, but...
Now be gone.
No.
Does that mean no wand, Mr. Drippy?
No shit, Oliver.
Oliver's a dumbass. I'm so glad. It makes me laugh, though. And of course, it does get annoying at a point every time that pretty much Mr. Drippy calls him a dumbass. What do you mean you don't know how to do this even though you've never been to this world, you
So how
dumbass?
do we get the wand now?
Something wasn't quite right about our royal friend. Broken-hearted he is, or I'm broken.
The king is?
We're just gonna skip that. We don't need to listen to him.
It's weird. Very occasionally they will voice act the text.
What are we waiting for? Let's go find the piece
And
of heart.
I don't know why.
Sometimes you read it and it just doesn't quite match up, but they'll still write the text that way. Whatever.
And I'm skipping through it because I'm listening to music and not giving a shit.
Plus, you're listening to us talk. We don't need to listen to their bad acting.
No.
I mean, Drippy's actually not too bad, but at the same time, he's just really talking nonsense, so it doesn't really count.
He's not too bad, but a little too much of not too bad turns to bad.
Yeah. And Oliver's a kid, so he can't do it.
No.
Well, I always talk to people and they're just like, it's not bad for a kid. I'm like, well, I don't have to necessarily say that's good then. Not bad for a kid. Still means it's not good. I do wish this guy had some kind of really proper annoying voice. Well, if you listen to me...
You just popped out and think, who invited you? I did not select you, good sir.
You are not the quest item I was asking for. I do like his animations, though. Just very twitchy. That's the longest pause on that text bubble I've ever seen. That was a really short one, too. What do you mean? Pause, 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 pause. Tidy! This is such a long-winded conversation about going to get enthusiasm. Like, even at the very beginning, it's like, that cat needs enthusiasm! Then 5 minutes later, let's go get enthusiasm!
And he's saying what I was saying.
Yeah, so we can ignore him.
Mm.
Pointless bastard.
Well, we could if he wasn't talking.
One thing this also game suffers from, because I keep on pointing out the problem and emphasis on it, is just that I never found the dialogue that interesting.
No. And there's a lot of it.
Yeah, like the conversations between the characters just seemed very vanilla.
And drawn out.
Yeah. And good, and also opportunities that seem like they're trying to get personality with them come off kind of awkward, and also they tend to cut them off way too early. They don't get enough time to really flesh it out. It just seems to be very, very plot-driven. We're going to go to where we want to go kind of thing. I would appreciate some more of the characters just letting their personalities kind of meld into the thing, but you never really get any sense of personality heavily with really any of them, beyond maybe Mr. Drippy. They give him by far the most freedom to just say whatever the hell he wants.
Really gave him an accent. They have to run with it.
See, it's funny! And that's all we need.
I'm deciding, should I talk to that woman?
You know what's really frustrating about that woman right there? If you don't go do her, if you ask to do her quest, and you don't do it, there's a later part in the game where you have to talk to her for a main quest, and then you can't ask for her help until you finish the side quest.
Wow.
And it gets really frustrating, so I'm just like, oh god, I gotta go hunt the map now for these, and I can't progress unless I do. Great!
Funny thing is, the thing she's asking for, you could grind for right outside the village.
That's why I didn't bother to. I was like, this just seems like a really stupid, pointless mission. I'm not doing it. And then later I had to.
I actually have the items she's looking for right now.
These parts kind of drive me nuts too, and it's obviously because it's made for younger people, but the conversation where it's just like, listen to that guy over there, he's got enthusiasm. Do you think we can get enthusiasm from him? By far, I think you can get enthusiasm from him. You should go get enthusiasm from him. Just like, you could have said it once! Stop repeating it, it's long-winded as shit. But it's a pretty game, and it's fun to play.
It's fun to play.
If you measure on the artistic standpoint and the fact that it's fun to play as well, this game gets a lot of positive remarks from me. It really needed to work on the... I think it needed work on the story, and it really needed work on the dialogue. But that's just me being nitpicky.
Well, it's 90% of the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's RPGs. It's all story.
We're nitpicking from a flea factory.
Yeah. In situations like this, like when I was playing through these, when we get into situations where I had to take someone's heart, I would just smash my skip text button because it'd just be these long-winded conversations to be like, excuse me, sir, would you like to give me your enthusiasm? What enthusiasm? I think, golly boy, you can take enthusiasm from him. Can I have your enthusiasm? Why, sure you can have my enthusiasm. Just take a little bit, though. Not all of it. Yeah, just some of it. I'm like, this is such a stupid conversation. I can't listen to this.
I may or may not transcribe the those side quests when I get to posting the screenshot updates. If you guys give a shit, post it in the thread now.
I'm gonna tell you guys now, if you've never played this game, you're not missing out on the dialogue. Trust me.
We've seen it already.
Yeah, I've seen it in bunches of times because you'll talk to some characters and like get this part of the heart, and then you talk to a character in a different part of the world. They have like a similar dialogue for when you take their heart. Can I take this part of your heart? Yeah, sure, why not? Absolutely, great. That was so worth reading the 50th time. Not that I'm frustrated or anything. Yeah. I don't even know how is anything related to a cat. Yeah, I didn't bother with this mission really because it was just so simple. But if you already have the parts, as soon as you talk to her again, complete.
Look what we went out and got, wink wink.
You don't even have to leave her side. This is what makes it kind of silly. Is you're having this conversation like, could you go get this for me? Oh, sure, I'll go get it for you. 2 seconds later, I got this for you. Great!
And she says she's gonna decorate her door. It never changes. She never does anything with it.
How's she gonna decorate her door with flowers and spring water anyway? Just tape it to the door? See, you know what's frustrating about this? I did this mission so much later in the game that when I got the 50 Gilder and a wooden shield, I was like, that was so pointless. But look, now that we have a shield, we got something to equip to him.
It's not much, but it's...
And if I don't remember correctly, because it's been a while since I played this, but doesn't the actual equipment on the characters change? Like the shield does change size and shape and all that?
No.
Aw. That would have been nice. Because then I know it does for some of the other characters, but that was much more plot-relevant situations. And also ones I'm not going to spoil now, so shut up.
We can never go up those stairs. Ever.
Because someone was lazy.
Mm-hmm. For all of the game. He never moves from that spot.
I just like the idea of an NPC in a real-life scenario, just standing there in some kind of posture, just forever. Like that guard and that guy are having a conversation for years. This kingdom looks big, but honestly, this guy kind of got screwed on the size of the kingdom kind of rule. He got the smallest one.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Cat face.
It wouldn't be a cat unless you made him flamboyant. I think it would have been funnier if he didn't just call him directly cat face. He's just like, good going, cat face. Couldn't think of anything else. Which one of these will you give him? I don't know.
I think the guard would have been freaked out by now.
So,
Did you just shoot my king?
Let's see.
Archer's on the ready!
What the devil was one up to?
Your Majesty.
Yeah, that's another one of his quirks. He refers to himself as one.
Eh? Why, one is 10 times more energetic than one has ever been. One feels different.
And body is clearly bouncy and weird.
This is your doing, is it not? Then you must be rewarded. Your Majesty, it seems that these brave adventurers have lifted the curse.
I like Droopy's expression's
What?
amazing.
Is this true?
That'd be the face expected to make when he says a
Your
pun.
Majesty, it appears that you are cursed with a lack of
But it's like that. These adventurers, they look at each other like
Is
us.
that so? One certainly didn't feel oneself for a while there. It
I could just
seemed
see
once
Oliver pointing to Drippy and Drippy pointing to Drippy. I don't know why they always leave Mr. Drippy to be on lifting duty. Like, he's always the one carrying stuff, and he's tiny. Hopper.
Sorry, that wasn't a pun.
There's another one. Shut up, Jeepers. There's so many points in this game where I just want to tell the people to shut up. There's only like one main character in this game I can really stand. Actually, maybe two. But we haven't run into him yet, so we'll just get used to me just being like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
But new spells!
Spring lock. That allows us to open that chest that was locked with magic.
These are honestly two spells you use rather frequently in the game. Which is more to say than some of the other spells you get.
Yeah.
Some of the spells, they just hand you like 50 of them. And you're like, thanks, this is awesome. You handed me 10 of these spells that I can only use once.
What's really screwed up is there are some spells you can get that you can never use.
Yeah. This situation also, the reason why we weren't able to buy equipment before is because we had to have the king's permission to even go to the weapon and equipment store to begin with. So now that we have it, now we can get stuff.
And yes, he is called the Quartermaster.
By choice.
Yeah.
I do like some of the animation tricks they do with Mr. Trippy. Just mess them.
For example, and this will be worth it. Just wait. There we go.
Oh god, yes. He actually does react to his surroundings. Like, if he goes stairs, he doesn't just walk the same way. He actually hops up the stairs. Things like that. There's a lot of games that do kind of miss out on that. Like, you just walk straight when you're walking up a ramp, and you're like, okay, this looks weird.
So next time we will go see the Quartermaster, and then King Tom will finally be able to give us his wand.
Hooray.